Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad we're here. Today's date is Monday, September 5th, 2022. In the United States, it is Labor Day. And this is the official last day of summer in the United States. And many schools will be going back to school tomorrow. Many start in August. That's just a school teacher tag on memory. After so many years, I think of those things. I want to do a rabbit trail today. I am not doing it from a place of expertise. I'm just showing you something that made me get curious, and I'll show you what I saw, and I'll show you a couple of ways that you can look into it a little deeper yourself, and then we'll ask the cards about it. Okay, so here we go. Remember, I go on the rabbit trails with you, so we won't get lost. Or if we get lost together. I was reading that compilation site that I've mentioned before, roserambles.org, and one of the items that she had posted was this. The Queen may never return to London in a stark message, royal experts claim. Royal expert Daniela Elser said the possibility that the Queen stays put in Scotland from now on cannot be dismissed and would send a pretty stark message about her future reign. Well, if you, like me, think she's long been taken care of, but we're waiting for them to close that loop, and that that will be the London Bridge event that will really, really kick things into obvious gear that even the normies have to acknowledge. Let's see a little more here. Okay, I can't read all of it. Don't want to get in trouble. But the last time whoever is playing the part of the Queen was seen was July 21st, getting off a plane at Aberdeen Airport. Okay, now there is some hidden history theory for the world that says that Edinburg, and I'm probably saying it wrong, I think it's Edinburgh in England, is actually Jerusalem. And I'll show you where you can look a little more about that if you want to see. But that this would, if the person playing the part of the Queen actually passes away in Edinburgh, they might truly be passing away in Jerusalem. Now, we've heard 17 say that they were saving Israel for last. And that didn't make sense to me. I thought, okay, maybe that's because that's supposed to be the stronghold for the Khazarian mafia. But then I thought, but wait, they're so deeply entrenched in Canada and the United States, New Zealand, and I think they're sort of getting cleaned out of Australia. That's kind of like their four quadrants. So what does that make Israel? So I thought maybe it's just that, it's considered to be the Holy Land is one of its nicknames. I didn't know. There's a lot of things I don't know. I just speculate and wait for things to roll out and the dots to get connected. And I'm sure a lot of you do too. In the meantime, we go about our life with as much happiness and joy and peace as possible, right? Okay, well, like I said, that made me curious. I thought, so if the official ending for that personage is in Edinburgh, what if that was truly Jerusalem before human history was altered so incredibly? What if it was? And how would I find out a little more about it? So here's what I did. Hang on, I'll show you. I did a little searching about Edinburgh is the true Jerusalem theory, and came across an author by the name of William Coleman Beaumont, and he had a set of 4 books about our altered and hidden history. And in The Great Deception, which you can still buy a copy of, there's a few of them available on Amazon, he speaks about that. Well, then, because I usually post on YouTube, I try to use sources YouTube will appreciate. So there are some short videos that have been done by a couple of different people about his theories. Okay, the Great Deception, Edinburgh, Jerusalem. Please don't say nasty things in the comment about my pronunciation on that. I'm so sorry. So anyway, you can do short little audio visual ones here. You can go more in depth with reading, and I'm sure Interlibrary Loan at your local library can get some of those 4 copies for you. So, but for tonight, let's just see. I mean, is this a possibility that Israel is last? Okay, the London Bridge event, if those can combine in this way and be part of this big kickoff of the storm. Okay, because I'm hearing on alt media channels, it's go time, it's go time. And the London Bridge event is a big part of that. So let's just ask the cards tonight. I want to phrase it carefully. If the person seen in the public eye as the Queen of England is announced to pass in Edinburgh, will that include the Israel is last component of the London Bridge event? Will it combine the two together moving forward in our big earth changes? So it will, if it happens this way, will it be a combination? Okay, yeah, if it happens this way, will it be a let's leave it at that, because we have to do one question, even though we leave ourselves open for a little more information. So if it happens that way, what do you want us to know about? Okay, and especially regarding a combining the Israel is last and the London Bridge, 2 events in one. 2 for 1. Don't we all like 2 for 1 sales? Let's see if this is a 2 for 1 event. Knight of Cups, 3 of Swords, 7 of Cups, tricky, tricky, tricky. Page of Pentacles, the Sun, 2 of Pentacles, the Hierophant. What a mix. So our question was, if the person playing the part of the Queen passes in Edinburgh, would that combine the 2 scenarios of London Bridge and Israel is last? We're not getting a definite yes on that. We also said, what else do you want us to know? I had to laugh. This whole situation with the Queen is being indicated by the Knight of Cups, who is not necessarily one of my white hat cards, but one of, he's pretty tricky, okay? And not that honest. Boom, come over, clarify it. He's really not that honest. The 3 of Swords is about lies and heartache. I mean, especially in this reading with this combined. So we're being reminded that this whole thing of the Queen has long been taken care of, number 1, okay? She is no longer on the earthly plane. But we're saying, at some point they have to wrap these loops up so that the actual status of those that are dealt with have closure in the public eye. In the meantime, we've seen the loop happen, where we really know the dealing happened and consequences were meted out and what have you. But she has been allowed to have her legacy. Okay. Now they have to do a lot of juggling and look here, not there. to have that legacy be intact, and how, with a bloodline that is so evil, they would even allow a legacy. Maybe it's only a temporary one. I hope so, because humans deserve truth, and we deserve to not have either good or evil deciding how much truth we can handle. Our days of being spoon-fed need to be done. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a Laura's view thing. That's not necessarily the cards. Page of Pentacles is showing up for the present. And this is a card giving us a little reassurance. The Page of Pentacles indicates worthwhile effort and diligence. So while there's all this complicated backstory that's had to be created to talk about how the ending happens for that royal bloodline, looking ahead at the outcome, it's been deemed to be worthwhile effort. And the Sun comes up as the near future. Now, the Sun is a major arcana, and it's a major arcana that indicates success, joy, often new life. So I think every effort is going to be made to make sure that that new life is what's available to humanity, not a return in some new form for this bloodline up here. Okay. Now we have the clarifiers for the Sun kind of tone down high expectations a little bit. We have the Two of Pentacles, which often speaks of still a couple of options are in play. Okay. So the timeline hasn't been set yet for how this will happen. Okay. And then the less important advice card is the Hierophant. Hierophant often indicates our deep state. Okay. And it's, well, there's a lot of learned knowledge involved with this card. It's very structured and kind of like that revised history. So efforts are being made to keep that revised history intact. Okay. It's been considered a worthwhile effort to allow that to happen. Okay. But we are moving ahead to a time of more clarity and openness and celebration. Let's see what else the cards have to tell us. Knight of Swords. So there we do have a white hat, kind of confirming that the worthwhile effort, the diligence I got here, and the positive outcome here. And okay, the Five of Cups. Fives are not permanent situations, number one, but this is a card with some sorrow. As you can see, 3 of the cups have spilled. Okay, so we are getting ready to have about 60% of the population that are going to be sad. I hope it's more like when we learned as children, when we had to learn truth about things we had been told. I don't want to bust anybody's bubble, about tooth fairies or Santa. We almost wish we didn't know that. And there's going to be a lot of people that feel that way. But still, what we have to look forward to, and some may choose just never to accept it. And that's okay. That's their path. That's their life contract. That's where they're going. But most of us are going to be here celebrating more truth and openness and a lot less corruption in our world. So we didn't go the way with that result that I thought we might. I was hoping to see if those two events would combine. I am not going to ask the cards if Edinburg is truly Jerusalem. I am sure that in many timelines that is the case, and you'll have to do your own research and decide for yourself if it is. But we do have that London Bridge event coming up soon. It's been based on a lot of fact manipulation and things like that. But it's moving us into some new times with some clarity and kind of an ending to the days of the Hierophant, the deep state. So in the meantime, like I said, let's go about our days and our lives with joy and love and interest in the world around us and events and learning truth that is not yet readily available, but not to the point that we can't enjoy a sunrise and a sunset and a walk in the park and a good recipe, or a snuggle or whatever. So keep your joy, folks. Keep your joy. I love that you have an interest in current events, because I do. And I like that we can explore some rabbit trails. So didn't come to an ending on that one where I thought those might combine and what have you. I'll have to do a little more reading on that gentleman and see what his theories are, because it sounds like he was onto something that he's definitely got my interest. Then we'll see if he's got my my buy-in at some point. Okay, that's it for this video. Happy Labor Day if you're in the United States, and celebrate it wonderfully and safely. And I will see you next time. Your time is precious, and thank you for choosing to spend a little of it with me. I do appreciate that. Good night.